Hi, welcome to LoveRose Talks. The clothes we wear tell a story to the world. They can have a major impact on our emotions and our moods.
So today our guest is Professor Carolyn Mair, who's a cognitive psychologist and also a consultant for many fashion brands. And she's also published a book called The Psychology of Fashion. So welcome, Carolyn. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Sarah and Caroline. It's a pleasure.
So, Carolyn, how have you found clothing and specifically underwear can affect your emotional and psychological recovery from something, for instance, in our community, which is important to us, like breast cancer surgery or diagnosis?
So clothing is important in general because it's a way of portraying our identity to the people we interact with.
Yeah.
It's a way of expressing the kind of interactions we want to have. But then when these are our outer clothing, but when we think about our lingerie, our underwear, that is our closest thing to our body. The most intimate parts of our bodies are covered by our underwear. And so although they might not be seen by as many people as our outer clothes, but they make a huge difference to how we feel about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So having underwear that we feel comfortable in, that we feel attractive in, that we feel desirable in is so important to our well-being, to our confidence, to our self-esteem, and to our identity, that we feel that we're worth investing in these types of clothes, that they are something that's under our outer clothing, but we know they're there.
Yes.
And that is a super boost to our self-esteem.
And also, when you've been through something like a breast cancer surgery, you are focused initially on the physical recovery. Your emotional and psychological recovery is equally as important to get you to the next stage, as in back to life, back to work, back to going out socially, all of those things. And we believe that that is a huge part. But sometimes I think it is overlooked because people feel that that is a superficial element, a vanity. And
Yes.
actually, we weigh it up as being just as important. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, 100%. So mind and body are not separate.
Yeah.
So we are a system. We are a single system where the mind affects the body and the body affects the mind. And so the psychologiquical recovery from surgery is as important as the physical recovery from surgery because they interact.
Yeah.
The better we feel about ourselves, the better we feel about our identity, which of course has taken a huge blow with surgery.
Yeah.
We feel different. We might have lost part of ourselves, part of who we are. And this is something that in order to recover, physically, we have to be able to recover psychologically.
Yeah.
So the two can't be separated. And I think it's this super important point you make there, Caroline.
Yeah.
These two are not, they interact. They're part of the system that we are. It's not about vanity. It's about your body and your mind working together. And I suppose the trauma of having surgery makes the thought of thinking about having nice underwear seem quite trivial.
Yes.
If you don't understand the relationship between mind and body.
Yes.
It just, clearly you've got health is number one. Always. Health is number one. But there's mental health and physical health are not separate.
No.
They're totally connected.
And obviously it's not going to sort, your real problems, but it's just a tool that you can use to help you, fake it till you make it kind of thing.
Definitely. But I think it does help your mental health because of the hormones and the chemicals that circulate in our body that help the healing process, the physical healing process.
Yes.
Are related to our mental health.
Yes.
So, it's totally not superficial and it's totally not separate. If you want a full physical recovery, you have to recover psychologically alongside it.
You obviously in your work, you focus a lot on your clothing, that is what you're talking about. Do you find that that's something that other people maybe overlook in terms of identity and in confidence and in recovery?
I mean, yes, it can be overlooked because we are so much focused on the outer presence, our appearance that we see outside. But what I want to engage with, and what I engage with in my role as a psychologist working in the fashion industry, is to empower people, mostly women in this sense, to understand the power they have to boost their own confidence by choosing the clothing that will give them, or at least facilitate the outcomes they want to have. So they can make the outcomes better in a way by feeling confident. So confident is a hugely attractive characteristic. So when we have underwear that is kind of, we know that other people don't know, this is a kind of a confidence boost in itself.
Yeah.
The fact that we feel self-value enough to buy nice underwear, matching sets, underwear that is worth it. We feel worth it. We want to buy this. That in itself says something about us.
Because a lot of our ladies, they may, for one reason or another, they might not have chosen reconstruction. They might have had a mastectomy, single or a double even. And just through our experience working with all of the ladies, the fact that they can recreate their body shape, just the whole feminine idea of breasts and shape, it is a huge part of being identified as feminine.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I couldn't agree more. And it's a way that we can begin to take control again.
Yes.
That we can take control of our bodies that we feel perhaps we've lost some control over.
Yes.
And that we begin to take control. You're absolutely right. The femininity part, the part of being a woman, there are characteristics that we associate with femininity. When something happens to us, whether it's a diagnosis or surgery or something not connected with breast cancer even, the one essential part of healing is to take an element of control. What can we control in our life? What can we bring back? Okay, what can we help ourselves that matters to us?
Because it's not just though for other people, like it is for yourself, primarily for yourself. You dress to impress yourself.
No, exactly. And it's like it's about self-esteem. It's about feeling, yes, I'm worth this. And it is about, for me, and you're absolutely right, when you feel good, you look good.
Exactly.
It comes across in all the things, all the parts about you, not simply appearance, but as I mentioned, posture, gesticulations, the expression on your face, the engagement with others.
And you've talked about support a couple of times. Is there things that you found in the design of certain garments, so color, or if they're sustainable, or if they've got certain support, are there things that benefit the wearers in those ways as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, sustainability has become a huge issue over the past few years, I'd say, although it's been on the agenda for decades. It's started to become a real thing now. The sustainability matters increasingly to consumers across the board. So having a brand that uses sustainable materials, that uses sustainable processes, that their products will last, that they can be cared for, that they can be looked after, that they can be loved, and they can be part of who we are. That's exactly what brands need to be doing now. And I know your products are based on the sustainability elements throughout. So I think this is super important to consumers.
I don't think it would be right for a new brand to be launched without actually having a conscious awareness to what you're making your garments from,
Exactly. So I mean, we're talking about environmental sustainability here, but we're also talking about social sustainability, the well-being that your garments bring to your consumers. This is social sustainability. You are helping those people live their lives better, the people, your consumers. And I mean, what more social sustainability? And that's so important. And just to go back to your point about color, Sarah, so we have socio-cultural associations with particular colors. So when we hear over our lifespan that, let's say, for example, yellow is a color that's associated with happiness, when we might choose to wear yellow, if we like yellow, and we believe that, and this is super important that we believe it, that yellow will make us happy, then we can like bring that power to our clothing. And I see behind you some beautiful green items, gorgeous colors, and pink. And so we have associations with green, particularly for nature, for richness, for fresh, new, all these elements that we have with green, and pink are clearly we have with femininity, softness, you know, warmth. These associations, when we put on clothes in these colors, they enable our behavior to represent those characteristics. So for example, if I choose to wear pink, I might behave in a more feminine way because I feel more feminine. And there are studies that show actually color, particularly red, because red has been studied more than other colors, that has a biological process for the impact on viewers. It actually increases our heart rate. So the finding that wearing red makes us appear more sexy, more attractive, there's a biological basis for that.
All of these things make up this wider self-esteem and confidence boost, and you know, and your identity in general.
Exactly. In the end, we all need a good level of self-esteem. And we can't deny the importance of confidence. You know, and that comes from having self-esteem, from this self-value, self-worth, self-perception as well, how we see ourselves, and then the self-identity, how we put ourselves out to the world.
Well, Carolyn, thank you so much for coming to chat with us today. And
it's been so interesting.
Thank you. That was my absolute pleasure. Thank you.
And for people watching, they can follow Carolyn on Instagram. Is
Yes.
that correct? Let us know what your handle is.
It's Psychology for Fashion.
Take care. Thanks
so
a million.
much. Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.